I like to create games and watch games and bet on games sometimes. We're going to talk about a bunch of things. That's right. This is football week 15 that you're seeing. We'll have a discussion about it at the end of the video. But if you're one of those people who just wants to see what the algorithm says, this is what the algorithm says. I don't know if Lamar Jackson's playing or not, but we'll have those discussions really in another video. This is not going to be a video about football. It's going to be a video about bets. I am challenging the algorithm. After I had such a good day on Tuesday, and I turned like $150 bet into $530 about going, I think it was 9-3 on a 12 pick thing. After I did that, I realized, I'd like to challenge the algorithm in each one of the sports that we do every day. Like, I really not going to challenge it much in college basketball because it's awesome in college basketball. Oh, what happened yesterday? Oh, did every single home team that was on the list win? I think so. Yeah, I was 19 of that. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of how the college basketball algorithm works. Is home teams win, and that's what happened yesterday. So let's take a look here though at Wednesday the 14th, and I'm going to challenge the algorithm and make picks. This is what I did. Is I already did this and I already made this wager. I thought I won really like 350 bucks or so, or a little bit more. I'm like, all right, well, I take some of that out because I don't like to lose a lot. And then I'm like, all right, well, am I going to go back and bet $500 tomorrow? Of course not. I'll bet $50 on college basketball though. I'll look at the list. I'll do, and that's what I did here. And it pays potentially 19,000 bucks. And you know how predictable college basketball is. You see a lot of favorites on here. There are a lot of home teams, but there's a lot of other stuff. And so I thought, well, I want to go through and I want to challenge the algorithm on sports. I also want to challenge the algorithm on NBA. The NBA, I did the same thing. Looked at these 10 games, I updated the file for as current as it could be early here on the morning of Wednesday, the 14th. So the injury reports will get updated. But I looked through this list and I went through each game and I said, yeah, I think probably I was like, what if I had to pick a winner just like the algorithm has to pick a winner? Would I agree with all the winners here? I agreed with a lot of them. I'll show you what I did. This is a different bet I made. Different bet I made was the 10 NBA games. I was like, I'm going to challenge the algorithm to pick 10 winners, no points, just money line winners. That's what games really should be about. Is teams play to win. I don't want to lose on spreads all the time. I want to I think a team's going to win, I think a team's going to win. I also changed the betting structure that I did for that. And that's what it was. So this was a $39.50 bet that could potentially pay $3,200 if you get all 10 games right. And one of these days we will, and so the question is, well, what did I do compared to the algorithm? Because I have some underdogs on here as well. Well, Magic, Pistons, Warriors, Knicks, Kings, Thunder, Blazers, Cavaliers, Nuggets, and Clippers. Let's remember that. And let's look. Trailblazers. Yeah, they're supposed to win their way up here. San Antonio's injured. I believe we had the Blazers on our list. Nuggets, same thing. Injured Wizards, games in Denver. Line's terrible, but it says the Nuggets win. Cavaliers are an underdog. So here, this disagrees with the odds makers, but we think they're a stronger team. It's like a 9% margin. I said Cavaliers. Here I took the Magic because the Hawks are injured and the Hawks let me down recently in another game. So I got a recency bias against them. So here I went against the algorithm with the Magic. I did take the Warriors, Golden State. I did take Sacramento. Yep. I did take the Thunder. I did take Minnesota, right? What did I do? Did I take the Timberwolves? No, I took the Clippers at minus 230. Why did I do that? I almost took the Timberwolves, but I didn't because they're hurting. Even though the margin is low, they're injured, and the Clippers are at home, and it does put the Clippers over the top, and you have to just pick winners of this game. So I did pick the Clippers. I picked the Knicks because Bulls have let me down a couple times recently. This is a super close game, and there's a great line on the Knicks. And I took the Pistons because they were an underdog line, and you have an injured Charlotte, supposedly. So that's where you end up getting this. Okay. Yeah. Got everybody. Now, very difficult to hit 10. Not impossible, but very, very difficult. So what's going to happen here is let's assume just random noise, win 5, lose 5, right? Let's lose 5 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go 5-5, you're losing almost all your money. That's really bad. Going 6-4, you're getting half back. Go 7-3, make a little bit of money, and really start making some money after 8-2 and above, right? Then you start making like a couple $100 or more. So that was my challenge. As you can see, games where I went against the algorithm were the Magic and the Knicks. And those were the only two where I'm going against the algorithm, right? Okay. Now, we could go through all the big college basketball ones because there are so many. So I'm going to throw those in there and we'll go over college basketball. Then we'll talk about hockey, which is a short day and there are 3 games and hockey's really tough. I wouldn't count on hockey ever winning. I got lucky with hockey yesterday. You have to get lucky with hockey. So it's kind of like, I would say that I'm not concerned about hockey. There, that's $47.90 and 19,000. So let's talk about all of these games that are on the list for college basketball. So college basketball does awesome things. You want to generally look for home teams. I have no home bump showing because I don't know if there are any tournament games, which are possible this time of year, and there might be some non-true home games. So I'm just leaving everything at a 0 bump anyway, which is nicer to look at. So I thought, well, what do I do? Is there anything with good lines at all? So, and also like the order of things is supposed to matter. So UCLA has a good line against Maryland, even though they're away. So I took that one. Coastal Carolina, I took them plus 2.5. They're away. I don't like that. They're only a 9% margin. They could lose the game. I gave them a little bump, but the algorithm's favoring them. And I'm just like, they're kind of high up on the system. You can see the lines are so bad that you just have to do something. I took DePaul at like minus 110. I took Morehead State plus the point. No, I think I took them to win for plus 188. Took them to win. Just they have a better strength of schedule. I'm just hoping if the algorithm has an amazing day that I just catch it. That's what I'm going for. I took Eastern Kentucky to win with the same idea. These are some away teams. You know these away teams are not all going to win. I took Tennessee State because they're at home, and that was kind of reasonable. I took Tennessee Tech plus 10.5 because it says this game is super close down here, and that's 10.5 points. And look at how bad Lipscomb's strength of schedule is. Like Tennessee State's strength of schedule is not great either, which makes this pick even more difficult. But Lipscomb's is bad. That means Tennessee Tech could make this closer. These are not good teams anyway. So I took Tennessee Tech plus 10.5. I took Long Island University plus 7.5, but these are some bad teams here with Albany and Long Island. So I thought it might be kind of close because they're bad. So I took them plus 7.5. I took Stephen F. Austin. I think I did as well, right? What'd I do? Let's go see. Stephen F. Austin. I did not take Stephen F. Austin. I took Ole Miss. I took Louisiana Tech. I did take Akron. That's right. And I took Arkansas State. So when we go back to the list, you'll see what I did there is I took Mississippi because they're at home. Florida's a little injured. The line, I mean, there's still a home team down here that, home teams, all the home teams on the list yesterday won. Every single one of them. So like when you see one on here, you're like, well, I mean, home teams are supposed to win. I say 90% of the time, they all won yesterday, including a couple bumps down here late. So I took Louisiana Tech, right? Is that what I did? What did I do? Get back to that list. I did at minus 215. Why? Because they're at home. So basically I bumped this 5%. Because bumping at 5% also did better things yesterday. You actually win 21 games yesterday if you bump at 5%, even better. So I took Eastern Kentucky and I took Morehead State and I also took Louisiana Tech and I think I took Arkansas State, right? Because they're minus 150. Let's see. Arkansas. Yeah, I did to fill this out. So I've really filled out a lot of teams in here. And I took Sam Houston State minus 12.5 because they were at the top of the list, right? So when you sort this by, where'd they go? Oh, because I bumped now, they're not at the top of the list. But they still cover the spread. I should have done that and think about that. Anyway, I took Sam Houston State because they were at the top of the list with no bump. And so I thought if a team at the top of the list where it says they're going to cover this spread here by 7 points, they got to cover 12.5. It's a ton, but they says that Louisiana Monroe is really, really bad. So supposedly they do cover. So I did put that on there. So let's go back to the list. I think I talked about every game. Akron, Morehead State. Could have taken some teams plus the points here. We'll see if that bites me. App State plus 12.5. Where's that? App State. It's over here. It's because there's a minus 800 way down here at only a 6% margin, even though Wake Forest is home. So it's a tougher pick, but I saw a lot of points here. It says that they only win by 4. Maybe a little more because they're at home, but App State supposedly can cover that. So we shall see. So that's what's in there for all of the college basketball I had in here. And you can see what happens. So this is 47 to win 19,000, right? I mean, we got a lot of away teams in here though. So let's get reasonable and assume that on these 14 games that we go like 10-4, like a good day would be 10-4. Say we lose one of those. Let's say we lose this big Sam Houston. Let's say that UCLA doesn't win on the road. Let's say that Louisiana Tech doesn't win because it was a close game or whatever. 10-4, you still win a tiny bit of money, depending on which ones you lost. So that's what you see as a good day. But of course, if you can really start to string together like an 11-3 and maybe the 12-2, 12-2, you start paying at 12-2, and it's college basketball, and 12-2 is not an abnormal thing to see. 13-1 starts to get over 1,000. So this can be very fun, and you can do this with other teams, and maybe just bet the tail end if you're taking all home teams. If you were to take all home teams in here, I mean, let's do this sample. I kind of want to make the bet also instead of just talking about it and not making it. Let's do what I said to do yesterday in the video, if you saw that. Let's go and let's grab. Okay, so what we're doing is we're grabbing home teams only with no bump, and we're sorting descending by line, and we're grabbing the top 15, which is all the way down to negative 1,600, but you just do it. You just don't complain, and you just do it apparently. So if we grab all these guys, although I can't bet Norfolk State. I can't actually physically do this bet if I'm in Virginia, I believe is the problem. So you put this here, and so you're all, if you're risking $100 on all home teams, and you can make this bet. So the big parlay pays only 13-1. Wow. Only 13-1 for all of the lines are so bad. So bad. Trying to see what if anything will pay anything here. 672. 140, 117. Something like this is kind of reasonable. So here you've got $100 basically, and you're just betting the high ends. I mean, these are your home teams. You're like, Ken said they're going to win. They better all win. And if you lose one, instead of making $900 on 100, which is a pretty good payoff for all home teams. I mean, I got to admit, that's not bad for the top 15 home teams. But let's say you lose the one that's all the way at the bottom, or the one with the best odds. Now you're only about breaking even. So you see how wow, you are just teetering on, you got to win all these games. And that's, I mean, what happens when you lose 2? You get back, you lose 90% of your money. So it is It is really extremely difficult to bet at these level of lines, even though 90% of these teams are going to win. But you can see that even though 90% of these teams are going to win, when you lose one, it's like you could have put the money to use better doing something some other way. It's a very nerve-wracking way to do it, but that is what you would do. I think that's why I don't do it all that often, because you'll see a day that an underdog will happen, but it didn't happen yesterday. And if you did this yesterday, you win. And so I can't say don't do it when it does that. Like I said, what happens when you do a 5% bump? It was 19-0 with no bump. With a 5% bump, it's 21-0 with a 5% bump, because those home teams did win at the bottom. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so that's college basketball. All right, enough college basketball. Now let's go to NHL real fast. So NHL had, I don't know, whatever. There's 3 games. I'm taking Montreal because I don't bet against Martin St. Louis. And both these teams are bad, and that's a good line, and it's a hockey game. I'm not taking Detroit. I decided to take Minnesota. So I agreed with the algorithm here. I'm going to disagree with the algorithm on Montreal because I like the line. That's a close game. And here, I'm really torn on this game. But Calgary probably wins at home, so I would say Calgary. It does make sense that Vancouver's been losing games all year, and even though I like Martin, it just barely edges everything toward Calgary, so we'll agree with that. So I'm just going to go to bat against the algorithm with Montreal on Wednesday. Now, finally, football. For those who hung out, I haven't really looked at it, but let's look at it. So don't know yet. What's Lamar's injury situation here? I think I've updated everything. Eagles over the Bears. Yeah. Only minus 390. I mean, they must not have to win at this point. I don't know. They probably do have to win, but like Commanders and Dallas, everyone's winning in that division. Even the Giants, like everyone's playing okay. Bills over the Dolphins 36-26 in, oh goodness. How on earth are there going to be this many points in Buffalo? Are you kidding? What? And there's probably gonna be a blizzard, right? Oh my goodness, there's a lot to talk about on Sunday, or there's games on Saturday. Hold on, there are Saturday games, and it doesn't show that. Whoa, hold on a cotton picking minute. There are Saturday games. I know it because I saw it. Let's look at the odds. Let's fix this. Sorry, yeah, fix this for everybody. So here we go. We have 15, 17, 17, 17. So Colts, Ravens, Dolphins are all playing on the 17th at different times here. So we need to change the schedule sheet. So at some point they updated the schedule and they changed this. That's what happened. Maybe they didn't do it originally at the beginning of the season because they were all worried about COVID and stuff, and they thought that things wouldn't align properly. So they made a schedule change. Ravens and the Colts. Yep. Okay. So, all right, everybody. Sorry, I'll have to resend the file out. And where's the Ravens game? Here. And the times of those are screwed up, but I can fix that. Do I need to fix this in the cube? I do. So here's what I do. I'm doing this adjustment in the schedule sheet, and I'm not going to worry about times because it's boring. We'll just, although we know which times they are. The 1:00 game is, sorry, let's just do it. The 1:00 game is the Colts, 4:30 is the Ravens, and 8 is the Dolphins. So in order to fix that, 8 p.m. is that game, and then there's a fourth. The Minnesota game is 1, and the Baltimore game is 4:30. And Minnesota is 1. All right. That's kind of gonna work, I think. Now what you have to do is you have to go to the season pivot sheet and refresh. I know this is really technical stuff for people that are updated, but this should have just updated it. And then you can paste this back in the cube, and now it'll work. Alrighty. And now let's look and see if Saturday shows up here in this day slicer. No, because I didn't type Saturday here. There's a day you have to type. Darn it. Almost there. Saturday. 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 Nope. Saturday and Saturday. And now we have to refresh and repaste. Almost there. And now that will work. Okay. All that just so that we could say there were games on Saturday. Sorry, people. We had to get done. And refresh. And come on, Saturday, show up. There you are. Bam. So now we have Saturday games in there. Okay. So we have a Thursday game. It's the Niners supposedly beating the Seahawks only at -180. Very believable. However, Deebo Samuel's hurt now, right? I think. I don't know what happened. Saturday, you've got 3 games. Since the Dolphins run over the Browns, even whatever Lamar's injury situation is, which according to the injury report at the time of this video, which of course this is going to change before Saturday, it is, he's playing. Questionable, but probably suiting up if you see him on there. That's what that means. That's why, because you have 2 powerful quarterbacks on there. That's one of the reasons why it's kind of overinflating Baltimore's score, because it doesn't know which quarterback they're going to go with, or maybe both. So that's a confusing situation there. That's why it's doing it. Buffalo, I don't. It says a lot of points. Indianapolis beating Minnesota. Weird. Just weirdness. And then you've got the rest of the weekend. What's Sunday look like? Sunday's Eagles, then Chiefs over Houston when it's 8:33. Houston gives them a game probably. It's 14-point spread, just like they did with Dallas. Detroit beats the Jets. Oh no. Oh no, I don't know what to do. I like the Jets now. I don't like Detroit, but the algorithm was so right with Detroit last week. Uh-oh. It says they won by 8 points. Says Bengals take down the Bucks. I think this is pretty easy money. Bengals playing great. Brady old. Dallas. I would take Dallas at only -210 over Jacksonville. They probably need to win. And I don't trust Jacksonville. I think Dallas will try to win. I think the refs are going to try to make Jacksonville beat Dallas. That'd be funny to watch, though. Then the Saints and the Falcons. It's terrible with the Saints, but it says they win here at home. Atlanta can lose games. It says there are more points than 43. I believe that. I believe the over there. It's bad with the Saints, but I believe the over in a game like this. And I'm surprised it's only 43. So even though I don't like make it over unders, big picks, the Saints are -200. The algorithm's so bad with the Saints that in order to play this game, I'll probably take the over instead. Tennessee beats the Chargers at an underdog line. Wow. What's Tennessee's record? They're fighting for the playoffs, right? Tennessee is 7-6, so for sure they're fighting for the playoffs. And the Chargers are also 7-6, so this is a battle. It's a battle here. It's a battle that the underdog, they says they win by win score and they win by projected score, 4 points. So you get 3. That seems like a really strong round robin pick. It's Tennessee +3 in case they lose by a field goal, but they can win, and the algorithm says they win up here. Denver and Arizona. It says that Russell Wilson, I don't know if he's playing or not. I heard he got injured too, right? Denver. See here. Russell Wilson is questionable concussion. I should give him a week off. He's also having a rough year. I would say he could come out of that game. I mean, how he had a bad concussion, or I heard about it, or saw an article about it or something. Let's assume he doesn't play. You're gonna have a new quarterback in there, which will change things a little bit. And the Sissy can still beat Arizona at home. Weird. And they're favored. Who's the other QB going to be? I don't know the situation there, but you should look into that game. Raiders beat the Patriots. No. Why? Well, it doesn't favor them by win score, so it's doing something with their points. Commanders over the Giants, and they're -210. Wow. And then the Steelers and Panthers can somehow tie, but the Steelers will probably want it more, right? I don't know, Tomlin can do some interesting things. So I've seen worse lines before. This is not a bad week for overall lines, but we'll obviously see more updates. What's Monday's game? Green Bay and the Rams. The Rams are bad. Green Bay is bad, but it might be Love's games in Green Bay. Oh my goodness, cold in Green Bay on a Monday night. Oh, that's gonna be something else. So there's a lot of fun. This looks like a very fun weekend of football. I'm glad I did the video. I forgot there was Saturday. So this is one of those things where the slicer starts to fill up with days in sports this time of year. So that's the update, guys, for the end of the week, Wednesday update. I'll let you know how these things go on Wednesday and then do it again for Thursday and then get ready for one of these for football. Because if you're just gonna just listen to the algorithm, another thing where it's me versus the algorithm for NFL. Let's show what that pays before we're done. So all these games to win. And there's 60. Actually, give me too much. 16. Can't do it. Who gonna leave off here? Well, let's leave off the Monday night game for sure. And I would argue I want to leave off the Thursday night game. But nah, let's do it. We have 15, so let's do it. Because I guess you have to make this bet. If you're going to make it all together, you have to make this bet before the Thursday game, right? So these lines, Chiefs at minus 833. I mean, what are you going to do about that? I'm tempted to take Green Bay's Monday night instead because this just doesn't pay. But so what do you do? The parlay on this pays 3,200 to 1. Unbelievable. So you spread this out. Let's see what the threes pay. Fours is the best one. So if you're really gonna spend you're gonna spend like a couple $100 here. 51,000. How much is just the fours pay? 1,300. That's not bad. So that means that if you can have a really good week and go call it 13-2 or something, really amazing week. To win all 15 would be incredible. Let's say you go 13-2. Yeah, you still get $644 on this. Plus, you would actually get the 12s and 13 would pay a little bit. So that's kind of what it looks like. I don't recommend putting the Chiefs on here at minus 833. I don't recommend these minus 390s. I would do something else to pad it to read the algorithm better. Or I would take what is it, the over in the which game? It's the over in the Atlanta game. Stuff like that. I would switch it around. The over in this game, right? New Orleans versus Atlanta over 43.5 or whatever it was at minus 110. And that will start to pay more because there'll be better lines. So anyway, that's the look at the sports. I wanted to get it out there. I want to tell you what I'm doing because this is kind of exciting to take on the algorithm and just pick every game and see if you can hit them all like we do with college basketball and home teams sometimes. All right. Good luck, everybody. May all your picks